Other news tonight, how much crime is there in our schools and how safe are our airports? What is the mayor directing her staff to do on homelessness?
Well, you have a right to know all of these things through public records. And this week is Sunshine Week, highlighting that right. But as senior reporter Ross Palombo has found, California has some serious issues when it comes to being open and transparent. And he's now with what he found. Hey, Ross.
Hey, how you doing? You will not believe this. In many ways, it is harder to get public records in liberal California than it is in conservative Florida. You heard me right. It is harder in California than in Florida. Our local and state governments have a duty to tell us what they're doing. But in the collaboration with journalists across our state, we found there are some serious issues right here with what they are and are not telling us.
A student stabbed on campus, and police aren't immediately called.
You thought you could die? Yeah.
A Metro bus involved in a deadly accident just drives off.
So when you see that much damage, you'd be like, oh my gosh, what just happened?
And the sheriff's lieutenant accused of battering a woman in Beverly Hills.
It's aggressive.
You believe the officers were right to arrest him?
Yes.
All investigative stories made possible in part by public records, but also stories you almost never saw.
But we could release it, but we...
So why won't you? Is California a transparent state?
Not nearly as transparent as it could be.
California's state constitution says the writings of public officials and agencies shall be open to public scrutiny.
A fully informed democracy requires access to full information.
And the First Amendment Coalition's David Loy fights for people's rights to that information.
It's about giving the public the right to know how public servants are doing the jobs they're paid to do.
But getting it isn't easy. When we brought you this story of a student stabbing that went unreported to police for nearly a day, we used state law to request information regarding this incident. But LAUSD refused to release anything denying the request. We also asked for information on incidents from 2 other schools. One of those took 3 months to receive. The other request has been open for 4 months now.
We've requested these numbers from the district and they've not given them to us.
It's an issue we brought up to Superintendent Alberto Carvalho before.
Anything that's publicly available should be made.
But despite his assurances, it still took us more than 15 months and an attorney to get crime statistics and reports from LAUSD that we requested just weeks after speaking with him.
At one point, we've waited more than a year for crime data information. Does that sound fair?
Well, there's a law that says you're supposed to provide that information within a matter of days.
State Superintendent Tony Thurmond oversees all of California's school districts.
Do you think, as the state superintendent, that LAUSD should be responding to those requests more quickly and being more transparent?
The short answer is yes. We all have a responsibility to be transparent. It's in the best interest of the public and the public's safety.
The fox is, guarding the chicken coop. The government always has an incentive to withhold information that's embarrassing.
And as the law stands, there is no penalty for any agency to just withhold information by extending the deadline over and over again.
Is waiting months for a public record reasonable? Is waiting more than a year reasonable?
This is a chronic problem with agencies up and down the state. Is these perpetual delays in producing public record. Documents delayed are effectively documents denied.
And when there is a flat-out denial, like when Metro refused to release this video of their bus hitting and killing a young man.
Oh, here you go, paramedics.
There is no formal appeal other than the courts. In this case, we got the public video from the family's private attorney.
Litigation's time-consuming and expensive up front, and a lot of people will just throw up their hands and walk away.
And frequently, law enforcement is walking away with special exemptions. When we investigated an LA sheriff's lieutenant accused of battering a woman, Beverly Hills police said most of the information is exempt and refused to release video of the incident caught on public traffic cameras.
Can be withheld.
But it doesn't have to be.
That's true.
So why doesn't Beverly Hills, in the interest of transparency, release it?
We have a policy.
So we're just asking for the portions that do not contain the victim.
Yeah, and again, we have a policy for many reasons.
And our policy is not to release a video that is part of the investigation.
Is that problematic?
I think it's highly problematic from a policy perspective. I think the public has a compelling interest in knowing whether and to what extent one of its officers that it pays is committing a crime, and also in how that crime is being investigated.
It's very difficult to access public records.
At Stanford, professors and students have teamed up with journalists across the state to study how agencies are doing.
Evaluating the access to public records.
They found common problems like delayed responses, staffing shortages, and funding issues, and concluded agencies often cite overused and vague provisions when denying a request, which delays disclosures.
Low response rates, which the agencies have admitted to themselves.
That is why we need clear, strong, bright lines in the law, regardless of the politics, to be absolutely clear. There are hard deadlines for producing, there are hard deadlines for disclosing, and there are significant consequences.
So much has been uncovered under the current system. But more information and more stories are undoubtedly out there, buried in public records.
Regular people lose when they can't see what their government is doing.
Absolutely. They're called public records for a reason. They belong to the public. They belong to the people. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, and transparency enables the press and public to hold government accountable.
And just to update you on those cases we just highlighted, LAUSD never sat down to speak with us about that student stabbing. DA George Gascon declined to take action against the Metro bus driver involved in that fatal crash. Metro itself won't speak about its own investigation. And the DA also says the case against that LASD lieutenant was dismissed after an informal trial diversion agreement. LASD says he was temporarily relieved of duty with pay, but in January he was fully reinstated. We highlighted those three stories because they were made possible by public records, but there was so much that we were unable to learn because we did not get the records that the public should have access to.
What's so interesting that the gentleman you interviewed there said it's not illegal, but it is a law and nobody's being held accountable? Is that the problem? No accountability?
That's exactly right, Pat. It is absolutely not illegal, but many people across the state say it should be illegal. There should be consequences and there should be deadlines in the law for responding to these public records requests. That's why we're doing this project with journalists across the entire state to lobby for a change in the law. Just in 2018, you'll remember, the public records law was actually updated to now include critical incidents with police officers. If there's an officer involved beating, now we have access to those records. So the law can be changed. It has been changed. We're all hoping it is changed once again.
Well, good for you for following up on that. That's the only way you can have change.
We're still working for it.
Shining the light. All right. Thanks, you, Ross.
Of course.